Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. To everyone that's new, this is a terrain build video. I try and do one every week, but with weather permitting at the moment, it's every 2 weeks or so, just because it takes longer for stuff to dry, paint, filler, glue. You know, it's sometimes a bit of a pain in the ass, but that's what it is. I do a let's build video every week where I put a model kit together to show you guys how easy it is, and I try and do a painting video every week from my pile of shame. So everything from the let's build is from my pile of shame, and I do a painting video every week to do a pile of shame as well. And there's a weekly Wednesday we do, where I answer model questions and everything else. So everyone that's new here, guys, that's what we do here. All my regulars here, guys, I feel love, thank you very much. I'll see you in a second, guys. Right, I'm a bit grubby and dirty because I've been organising stuff in here. As you notice, there was a big brown box thing that used to be here with stuff on it. That's gone. I've got a nice new rack in here. Well, it's not new, but it's new out here, and you can see the whole table. Whereas before, most videos you can't, start filming and there's all stuff piled up everywhere, and that's what I've been doing for the last 3 or 4 days. Just been trying to organise everything in here. So what am I doing this week's build? I've got a heap of these. Okay, these are old Gothic ruins for 40k. I'm not sure if they're 3rd or 4th or 5th edition or what they are. I can't remember what edition they're from. Obviously, I've put these on a nice little base so make them easier. But I actually want to make some of these. Now, when I say make some of these, I'm not going to be able to reproduce, this type of stuff. Just, I can make something similar, but I can't reproduce that. But I want to make it out of polystyrene, because I have loads and loads of off-cut bits of polystyrene of various thicknesses and shapes and sizes, and I want to try and make something like this. Now I'm thinking making a big one and making a few small ones. I don't want to make them fixed, so I'm not going to be putting them on the game board to go with it. The game boards are out there. If you haven't seen those videos, guys, go back and check them out, because there's some nice easy gaming boards that you can make there. I think the whole table cost me, I think it was €30 to make, something like that. So it's worth it, and they're easy to store as well. So I want to make some of these. I'm going to get on to root out some of the polystyrene bits, and I'll come back to you in a second. Right, this is what I'm talking about. Various shapes, sizes, thicknesses. We've got some nice little blocks there. Some more blocks. I'm not sure if what these measurements are. I'll have to measure these first before I start cutting them into them. But look, it's just all these pieces that I'm collecting from previous builds have been sitting there doing nothing. Collecting, there's some more down there, there's some more in there, there's some more down there. I'm going to start with these guys first, and I'm want to try and cut 2 pieces that I can put together in an L shape before I put a little platform on. So I'll see you in a second, guys. Right, so here's what I'm thinking, something like that. And then maybe some sort of platform at the top here. Yeah? But I'm not sure, because I wanted to have some sort of steps coming down. And for me, that's quite tall. How could you justify having troops up top here if there's no way for them to get up and down? I don't want to make a ladder. It's just, so I might have to trim this down a little bit in height. Just to, I don't know, I could even have this one up here and have some sort of floating steps down. I don't know, just playing around with a few bits here. Just thought I shared my little idea there with you. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it square. Yeah, because that's just a square block. I'm not going to leave it square. I'd have to rough the ends up, but I know. I'll come back to you in a minute, guys. Right, I've had a little bit of a brainwave here. I'm going to add these two to an L shape, okay? I'm then going to put this onto here, okay? I'm going to put this the other side. So it's going to be something like that. Yeah? Can you see that on the camera? No, you can't. Yeah, it's going to be something like that. Hope you can see that because I can't see the camera. Something like that anyway. So I'm going to get to pinning these bits together and I'll come back to you then. I know I wanted to do something like this, yeah? I know I wanted to do something like that. But it's sort of just taking on a little mind of its own, okay? Now the barbecue skewer is just to pin it so I can see what I'm doing. You know, they can be glued in there, they can be snipped off, it's not a problem. But something like that, that is actually a freestanding piece. Now, obviously, it's not sturdy as anything, so it needs a few more pins in it. But I was thinking I could put steps coming up the side here to a little platform, or I could put steps coming up the side here. And not only that, you also got the underneath. So that's what I wanted to do, something like that. I mean, I suppose it's not that much of a difference, really. It's not much of a difference, but it's a bit bigger than what I thought. I just saw this piece and I thought, damn, it looks like an amazing, you know, floor that's broken away, and obviously it has to be roughed up here and there and fully mixed and stuff, but that's my thinking anyway. So I'm just gonna crack on with some more ideas and see what I can come up with. Back to you in a minute, guys. Right. I've hot glued everything together, snipped the pins down, but there's still pins sticking out, okay? They need to be snipped down even more, but just I'm leaving there for the minute until I'm fully happy with everything, and then I'll snip them down before I finish mix. I'm going to show you some close up in a minute. Done some steps, little platform, embellished one of the sides a little bit. Right guys, hold on. Right, here we are. So I put a off-cut piece of polystyrene here just to support that corner because it was a bit flimsy. There's still a few wispy bits on there that I can see. Put some steps on there. Now these are, I did pin the bottom one, okay, but I just hot glued them on. So they're freestanding steps. Not only that, this also supports, this bottom step is flush with the bottom, so it supports this whole corner. Again, these are just cut pieces that I cut off. I actually cut a strip off of this one, of this thickness, okay, and then just cut. You see, they're not even, they're not the flush with each other, they're just, you know, higgity remains. Another off-cut piece coming past there. This is spin around. Yeah, so just chuck a couple blocks on there that were left over. Little triangle bit up at the top there. I think, actually come around this side, there is actually, yeah, 2 triangle supports under there just to support that. That is nice and sturdy now. There's a few bits there. So what I need to do next with this, excuse me, is snip like all these pins off. Yeah. When snipping them, I'm using the clippers, but you have to get as close as you can to the polystyrene. Sorry, the camera's going to keep flickering. As close as you can to the polystyrene. So when you fillet mix it, you're covering the wood up, because otherwise the wood will start to get moist, you know, from the fillet mix and the paint and everything else, and it will start to rot, like, and go mouldy. So as long as you snip it as close as you can, when you fillet mix it, it'll seal it. But yeah, that's where I'm at so far. I was aiming for this. I mean, I still can. It's not a million miles away, sorry. It's not a million miles away, but it's, you know, a bit bigger and a bit grander. And it's all made from off-cut pieces, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, I was going to make this big one and then make a few small ones and all that. But I actually got 2, let me show you them. There's 2 big squares, okay, of polystyrene there. Now, they're not the same size as the gaming boards that are up here, yeah. But I was thinking of making them as freestanding pieces of terrain, but have them just loads of like ruin parts all over them, so they can be used on the big boards, or they can be used on their own to just play little skirmish games. But that would be probably for another video, because I've still got Necromunda terrain to finish off. So anyway, that's where we're at so far, guys. Me waffling. So what I'll do next is clip them, filler mix it, and then when that's dry, I'll base coat it, and undercoat it black and then base coat. Well, actually no, I'm going to do something special on here, but I'll cover that in a minute. Next thing I'm going to do is snip them, filler mix it, and we'll go from there. See you in a minute, guys. Right. So I've done some bit more to it. As you see on this piece, there's the arches and stuff, yeah. And I looked at that and I thought the only way for me to recreate that nicely is to try and either cut bricks and do bricks like that, or cut the bricks and get a thin piece of sprue and glue it to the outside, the inside part of it, which you can do. This, it's not an issue at all. I glued the sprue first and then glued the bricks to it, so the bricks have to support the sprue and vice versa. But what I done, I had an off-cut piece of Kingsman. There's a little block, so I cut it in half. I didn't film this. I was just messing around, and I was like, actually, it's pretty good. So I'm telling you how I did it. I cut it in half, and then I got a ballpoint pen, okay, and I sort of drew an archway, yeah, and then drew another archway, and then I went over it a few times until the indentation from the pen was a little bit deeper, and then I just used the pen as like a carving tool. So I just kept going over the bits I've already done and then trying to flick out the middle parts. Now I got it down to a point until I was through to the other side, but it was a bit rough. So then I got a blade and I very carefully trimmed and tidied it up. Now I did break one part of it off whilst I was doing the blade, which I said, be very careful with it, but I've hookled it back together because it's a clean break, not a problem. And then I was like, actually, this is pretty good. But I don't have another piece of Kingspan that size to make another one. I'm going to have a look around it in case I have, but I don't want to waste too much time looking around. So the piece I had left, I then cut into strips, and I put a few strips here and there just to break up the terrain a little bit, to give you a bit more defensible positions, but also just to make it look a little bit different than this open plain piece of terrain. But also because what I'm doing to the floor, I don't want to have, like, let's just say that's the floor. Yeah, because I'm going to show you a picture of it in a second. But let's say that's the floor, and the piece of tile comes to here, and then I've got to try and trim it down to fit. I'm going to have to do that on some of it anyway. So I've got a piece of bit going across, so it separates it off, so I can work up to that bit. And then there's only a smaller bit to do, but I'll show you in a second anyway. So I'm going to crack back on with it, guys. Right, so as you've just seen, I've got base colours on that. Still waiting for it to dry, and stuff like that. It's probably be 2 or 3 days before that's dry, and then I can actually then just, after that, this was dry brush, it'll be done. Just waiting for that. So in the meantime of me doing that, there's another piece I'm going to be working on, maybe the next video or the one after that, something like that. And there's loads of crazy ideas I have for that as well. But I thought, why don't I try something I'm going to do on that? Why don't I try with this? So what I done, those of you regular here, I use weatherboard sometimes to base terrain. And this is a freestanding piece. But I also, those of you that have seen the Necromunda build revisited, you'll see some of the things that I'm about to show you now on that, which I'm going to be applying to the other build. So I thought, okay, so I've got a few sprues, an off-cut piece of weatherboard, and put this together. Yeah? Now how did I do that, some of you are going to say? There's all whistly bits on it still because I haven't cleaned down yet. I've got sprue, okay, empty sprue, and cut it to size. I mean, I overshot it a little bit, I think. Then I done the same. Got a piece of sprue. Yeah, cut it down to size. On one side, I cleared all the little knobbly bits that are hanging on it, so I can put it flat down onto greaseproof paper. Then I just filled each panel with hot glue. Now, when the hot glue goes onto it, it's hot. So watch your fingers, and it comes out like a lump. Yeah, you know how hot glue comes out, and then it just spreads out and pulls out and gives you nice, nice like not textures because it's quite smooth, but nice gaps and stuff like that to look like it's a really damaged building. Then what I done, I put a piece of sprue, too far away, along here to support the floor and on that side. Then I realised there was nothing supporting this side, so then I put this here and I was like, no, it's lopsided, so I ended up leaving the support bits there and just going with the two till roll bits. Now, till roll bits, you can use the inside of tin foil, just cut it down to size and away you go. Again, hot glued this in here on the greaseproof paper, then hot glued the two bits together, and just want a bead of hot glue, where are we, along the edge here and along the edge here. Now, a good thing with this now, it's not fantastic, don't get me wrong, it's not fantastic, even when it's painted, it's not going to be fantastic, but it's from sprue that you would throw away. Yeah, it's hot glue, off cut piece of weatherboard. I've got a heap of them sitting over there just for stuff. Again, now I've just turned that into something usable. Okay, and another good thing with this, because there is no polystyrene or foam based on it, I can get the rattle can straight onto it, give it a good spray down. An hour later, that'll be dry. Quick dry brush down. That would be done. That could be finished within the next 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And the time I would have spent on it would probably been maybe an hour and a half, an hour maybe. So within 3 or 4 hours, you've got a nice piece of terrain made from scrap. I'm going to add, just thought I'd show you that. Got a bit carried away a bit, but anyway, I'm going to spray that down and just wait for it all to dry, because I can't do nothing with the big piece until it's dry. So guys, I'll see you in a second. Right guys, this is the second time me filming this section. The first time I filmed it, the first bit of footage I had, the painter's grey had been on the terrain piece for like 6 days. Now it's like 10 days it's been on. The first part of, when I first filmed this, I made it say it was ready for, finishing, but it just needs to dry for a few more days, but I could edit the video and everything else. I didn't get a chance to edit the video. And 4 days later, I'm just filming this bit so I could edit it today or tomorrow morning. It's not a problem. There's still tacky parts on it, and I'll point them out to you when I show you close-ups. It's been a pain in the backside just because of the way the weather has been and how cold it's been, and I can't see my breath on the camera, but it's been very cold, so things have taken longer and longer to dry. So that's the only problem with having an outside area, to work in. Yeah, but I'll show you some close-up pictures. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, please like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications, and I'll see you next time. But I'm going to show you some pretty pictures now, guys. Okay, see you later. Right, so this is what I was trying to achieve. This is I think it's 2nd edition or 3rd edition, maybe 4th, I'm not sure. Came in a 40k box game. An amazing piece of kit, very nice. I wanted to try and achieve this, but without having to 3D print it or anything like that. Just try and make it as cheap as possible so you guys can do the same sort of thing. Did this idea, which is absolutely amazing, just out of sprue. It's a sprue, yeah. Again, this, these are just teal rolls that you could use the card from inside tin foil. Just cut it down and put it on, hot glue, sprue. It's nice and easy. And then this bad boy, this is what I was trying to do, and this is the bad boy I came up with. Okay, now here's a view of this, a little bit there. That's where it's just taking the filler off and everything. There's another little bit there. So when that's dry, I'll give that another dry brush. But if I'm still not happy with it, I can then put some PVA glue. Just put some flock into it. The flock's great because the flock will break up the greyness and the silver from the terrain piece and add a bit of colour to it. Let's have a look over here. This is just Renewed steel dry brush with beaten copper dry brush here and there, just to give a rust effect. Yeah. Now guys, thank you for watching. Please hit the buttons for me, and I'll see you next time.